That hurt. More verticality. We're going on to the goalkeeper dilemma, and here we go. Welcome to the Straight Red Card. This is the final segment where Brett and I discussed this argument we had on the phone for like an hour last night. Where it's like, Brett's being a dick, laughing out loud, and Brett's like, nah, you're fucking wrong. And I'm like, wait, what am I wrong about? And he's like, no, you are wrong. And I'm like, wait, you think that... Okay, hold on.
Let's preface this whole thing started because Davies on the after show mentioned that Steffen was possibly going on a loan this summer.
He's not the only one. Matt Doyle said it too afterwards. And
Okay.
so did the fucking Jimmy Heath guys did that shit too.
All I'm saying about that is that I'll believe it when I see it.
Okay, well that's fine. But what are Steffen's? And we had this. This is where I was like, "What are you talking about?" There was never a chance that Steffen was going to beat out Ederson for the number one spot.
So again, backtracking here, that we brought up the point that what was the reason why Zach opted to stay at Man City, and we both agreed
training,
that learning. He mentioned it. The whole point of being there was to learn and develop.
Correct.
And that's fine. And I said, my whole argument was, I think personally, the choice was to stay there, learn, solidify number two, and then with ambition, eventually crack the team. And I'm not saying in these last two years that he was expecting to crack the team. I'm not saying in the next 2 years he's going to crack the team. But you know what?
6 years, 8 years.
A four-year difference. Players change. No, it's definitely possible. You have to have that ambition. Otherwise, he's just expecting to ride pine the entire fucking life.
Brett, Ederson is one of the best fucking goalkeepers in
the
world.
I know that he is currently, and he's probably going to be for the rest of his existence. I'm not making that argument. I'm saying he has to have some form of ambition to eventually either crack it or leave. And at that point, maybe it is just to leave. But he has to have some form of ambition. And it's not just to sit there and learn for the rest of his career.
I can tell you this. No, he is not going to stay there to learn the rest of his career, for sure. But he wanted to stay there for a little while because Freiburg wanted him back bad. They're like, come back to Freiburg. We want you as our keeper.
Bust your knee again.
And he said, no, I'm going to hang out with Man City and play cup games for a couple of years. And then maybe I'll go on loan. And that's where we're at right now. Maybe he goes on loan, maybe he doesn't. If he doesn't go on loan, that's a horrible decision.
I honestly don't think I've ever seen an article of where he talked about going on loan. I think the only thing I've ever seen and read is him saying, I want to stay at Man City and learn from them, become a better goalkeeper.
Well, he's done it for 2 years, and he's playing cup games once a month. That's not good enough.
I agree, 100%. That was kind of my point.
It's not good enough. But he's not a dumb guy. He's figured this out. He's going to go on loan this window. He's gonna go on loan. Like the number 3 keeper at Man City is also very good. They'll be fine without him. So not worried about that. They're gonna send him on loan, probably to Germany, where they already know him very well, and he'll play for 5 or 6. The problem with that, Brett, is that he'll be playing regularly, which means he'll be getting injured regularly with his back. He is an injury-prone player. So we better get used to, say, like playing Matt Turner, right? Oh, well, fuck. Matt Turner's going to end up in the same situation that Steffen's in. And he's not going to get a loan, from what I understand. Like, he's not going to demand a loan. He's going to be the backup to Ramsdale.
He's in his first year of his first 2 years of playing cup games and being number 2 and riding fine, which is the same trajectory that Steffen took. Again, with the loan, it'd be great. I would love it if Steffen got the loan because I've been saying it for a while now. Because I even said in the text message, I go, what's better? Riding pine 90% of the time and only getting a cup game every now and then, or playing 90% of the time with a mid-table team in some other division or a different league or in the same league. So I'm just saying, I don't necessarily agree. I guess my point was I don't necessarily agree that it was just to learn. I think he may have had some ambition at some point in his career. Maybe he could compete.
No.
Whether or not he ever did, that's up to him and as far as he can develop. I don't see it happening. I also think that the development that he would get playing consistently, whether it was for Freiburg or whether it was for Norwich, even using them as an example, why not? You get a shit ton of shots in practice there because you're constantly on the defense. Dude, but I don't buy it. I'm saying we'll see what happens.
There is no way in his fucking logical world, which maybe he doesn't live in.
People are illogical.
Maybe he's not logical and his agent's not logical. I have no clue. But if they're logical, smart... Oh, Brett, let me finish.
No, it won't.
If he is absolutely a rational human being, there is absolutely 0% chance in his brain that he is taking Ederson out as the number one at Man City. There's absolutely no fucking way, dude. There's no way he ever thought that. He knows what the situation is.
Then
knows he's the number two.
Staying in Man City for 2 years just to get cup times and quote-unquote learn was dumb. He should have continued going on loan.
I wouldn't disagree with you. I think he should have gone on loan this year.
That's the only reason I was specifying that. At some point in his career, he must have had either some form of ambition to say, I could possibly crack it at some point. Okay, now, I'm not saying it would ever happen. I'm just saying he had to have had this ambition because what would be the point of staying at Man City otherwise? Okay,
the reason would be that Man City is going to play a shitload of FA Cup games. They're going to play a shitload of other cup games that are less meaningful. He's going to be playing in the Champions League Cup games. He's going to be playing that other worthless tournament cup games. He could get up to like... No, he's injured for some of it. So he missed 2 games for injuries, I believe. It was a total of 2. Because of that, the same thing that kept him out of the lineup last time for us. U.S. men's national team. Yeah. But I think the basic bottom line is he's guaranteed like 20 games a year as long as Man City keeps winning in these little cup games.
That's what I was saying. I think maximum like 15. But I'm looking at the transfer market right now.
All right.
So let's share this. Let's go over this. And I'm not saying this is going to prove my point. This might actually prove me wrong. But Community Shield, he got 1 game. EFL Cup 2. Champions League, he did get 1. There we go. Look at that. FA Cup 3. So what is that? 3, 4, 5.
Well, season's 6. Not over yet by any means.
I know, but that's 6. We're in April.
But he was injured for like at least 4 of those games total.
Fair point. But he's got like 6 this year. Let's go back to 2021 here. Champions League 1. There's 1. 6 total. 11. So we got 11 games the previous year with Man City.
Again, injury kept him out of many of those games too.
It's an injury.
And he was at Dusseldorf in that loan, not Freiburg. So Freiburg was back in 2015. My bad. So fixing that.
Oh yeah, way back in the day.
But he only played 17 games for Dusseldorf because he was injured most of that season too. So it's like, this guy's just injury prone as fuck. So you better hope that Matt Turner is on his game. But the problem is Matt Turner is going to Arsenal and he's going to be in the exact same situation where he is the number 2. Then you got Horvath. You better hope Horvath hangs on to that number 1 spot at Nottingham Forest because both of those guys are going to come in kind of cold, man. They're going to come in cold. So far in 21-22, he's played 8 games. That is Steffen. He played 12 games for them in 2021. Total. League Cup, National Cup, regular season, and Continental. There you go. This season, he's got 1, 3, 2, and he would be up there around the 12 number again if he were not injured as consistently as he has been for Man City with his back thingy.
Doesn't Transfer Market have an injury thing they keep track of?
They do, but it can take them up to a year to get it up to date. So be ready for.
I don't know where it's located at. I guess I don't really care enough.
Stats. It's in stats. Stats.
Like, oh, injury history. There we go.
Yep.
Okay, so let's just see. 2021, 2022, he missed 3 games due to coronavirus. 2020 and 2021, he was out 30 days for bone bruise.
Yeah. And then he missed our call-up. So there's that. Because
but I mean, those again, you may be accurate in the sense that there are other injuries that this doesn't have a list. I mean, I don't know how you track everybody that detailed enough to get everything accurate.
I can only tell you,
but so far this season, he's really
couldn't play for us.
According to
last window, he couldn't play for us because of back injuries. So,
yes, I guess that's not there. I guess maybe it's not a medical quote unquote injury. Like if somebody's out because they twisted their ankle, you're not going to say, well, he was injured with a twisted ankle.
Yeah, they don't put that up there. It has to be like an ACL, MCL, or something serious.
That makes sense.
Yeah. Oh, so let's go into Lalas's thing. We're done with this.
So many Lalas's thing.
I think we're done with this goalkeeper conversation. We all know what the issues are, and it's not good. It's not good right now. Going into the World Cup, we got our 1 and 2 both basically being bench warmers. So get a loan or get out.
Yep, 100% agree there at this point. I mean, again, yeah. So Alexi Lalas posted this today, and I mean, I know he's baiting, and he's going to go for the response. I mean, look at the likes versus the ratio he's got here going on. So he's absolutely aiming for interaction. Not saying that it's a good take by any means, but he does say, I have no doubt that a segment of American soccer will find a way to make this bad, referring to, quote unquote, the qualifying, but referring to the game against Costa Rica. So
the game versus Costa Rica was bad.
So, I mean, he's saying his thing is that we've qualified. And there'll be some people out there that will find a way to make this bad. And I'm like, my point was, yeah, we qualified. Party time. And that match was piss poor. See, I can express 2 emotions at once without conflicting. Quit baiting. So my argument here.
You were drunk when you typed "quit baiting." You were.
Oh no, this was this morning. I was sobering up. I was sobering up, Derek. It's a big difference.
Okay.
That's probably why I said the quit baiting.
I'm surprised you put the quit baiting thing because you're a Lalas lover.
Well, I appreciate Lalas. I do.
Well, he's not going to appreciate you anymore.
He bit back, or he played back into it, so it was fine. But I mean, he had this other argument with another poster, and I'm not going to dig to find it. But he basically said, we brought it up in the live stream too. It's like basically it's if you want Gregg to be, if you're the type of person that wants Gregg to be fired, then you're also the type of person that wants the U.S. men's national team to lose.
But you got to finish this. There's more here.
Oh yeah, from what he said. Yeah, sorry. I'm just saying that he has a lot of baiting.
Before you play that or put that up on screen, he responds to you and says,
I've got to scroll down to the one. He says, well, stop biting.
It's not biting.
Well, I mean, I took the bait is what he's saying. And then I wrote, can't help it. I got a problem.
So he's just like admitting, yeah, I threw out some bait and you bit it?
Yeah, he's trolling. I mean,
fuck.
How often do you come in here and basically just troll a portion of the audience saying this is the same thing you see in a lot of pop culture where they're like, yeah, we put this in there because we know it's going to make all the right people mad. And I'm like, why put it in there at all? Why piss people off? Why not just create something that's good? In this situation, I mean, you can make the arguments like, hey, you can have your complaints about the game, but we qualified. Let's all be happy. That's all you have to say.
Yeah, dude. Yeah.
That's my take on it, at least.
No, I mean, the fact that he says quit biting, that's just, don't do that. Come on, Alexi. Come on.
And
that's just admitting you laid out bait, which is not cool. It's just not cool. Don't do that.
Somebody called it out as baiting is good for his engagement, though. That's the point. And I go, Shruggy motion. It's Twitter. It's like
Yeah.
it's Twitter.
You replied to us again?
No, this is the same thing. Stop biting.
No.
But I'm just like okay. You could throw the bait out there and hope you get the interaction, but what does it do? What does this engagement right here actually do?
Clicks.
That's all it is. I can't pay my mortgage with clicks. I can't. Now, if he did this on a video and threw it up on YouTube, I could understand it. At least then you're monetizing it. Understandable. But you can't. I mean, you can actually monetize on Twitter, but he doesn't, and that's fine. I appreciate that more than if he did monetize it. I mean, I wouldn't be seeing any of his tweets if that was the case.
We'll put up his quote next because that's the real bomb, right? It's like, yeah.
There's no way in hell I'll ever find that one again. That's way down the history.
Oh, the one about
Fox? Oh, that's different.
No, yeah.
So the one that I was referring to earlier is the one where he basically told a fan who happens to watch our show that if you're hashtag Berhalter out, then you're basically in order for Berhalter to get fired, there needs to be change, and the only way you get the change is if the team fails. Ergo, if you want Berhalter out, you want the team to fail. And I basically said more or less what I put here too. You can have two different points of view that don't conflict with each other. I could want Berhalter out, which I'm not saying I do, but I'm saying you could want Berhalter out, but you also want the team to succeed. And I'm not saying that you could say I want this team to succeed more than I want Berhalter out. So I mean, it's a stupid argument to have, in my opinion. Again, I'm all for Lalas to be controversial and polarizing, but I mean, some of these takes they're not my alley.
You can believe that Berhalter is not the best manager for the United States men's national team, and believe at the same time that you want the team to succeed, nonetheless, that Berhalter was not your pick for the manager of the United States men's national team. Now, the whole Berhalter movement, we never got on board with.
It was a hashtag Berhalter out.
Because it was not realistic. We knew, and this is the sense where Lalas is correct, we knew the only way Berhalter gets fired is if he doesn't qualify. And that's true. That's true.
Well, you're fired regardless at that point.
If he doesn't qualify, he's gone. And that's the only way he was going to be fired. Let's be honest, folks.
So we talked about it over the summer because this is a question that everybody asked about. What's it going to take for Berhalter to get canned? What's it going to take? What's it going to take? And we said not only would you'd have to lose the Nations League, you'd have to flame out in the Gold Cup.
That wouldn't have mattered.
And it'd have to show some trajectory that this isn't working, and then maybe they do it. But it'd probably go into qualifying at that point. If it's seeped into qualifying, then at that point, yeah. But again, that would require him to fail and the team to fail in order for that to happen. As long as he's succeeding, it's not going to happen.
The quality of players were never going to allow him to fail that bad. There's just no way. So that wasn't going to happen. So Berhalter out didn't make sense to us because that wasn't going to happen. But we did criticize Gregg. And it's okay to criticize Gregg and not think that, oh, my criticism means that I want us to fail. No, I was totally relieved when we qualified for the World Cup. Absolutely, that's gone. I don't have to worry about that anymore.
Well, I'm sure that he's crying into his whatever it was. What he's making 1.3, so it's 4, $5.2 million pillow. They were calling me names.
Yep, okay. And we just heard Berhalter say in an earlier segment, you got to deal with that.
Blowing his nose with $100 bills at this point. Yeah, I'm sure he's not overly concerned about what people are saying about him.
It's not a big deal to him.
No.
All right, so if it's not a big deal to him, then why don't you motherfuckers constantly complaining about people being critical of Gregg Berhalter get off other people's nuts that you think are too critical? Get off their nuts, dude. Gregg doesn't care. He said it. He doesn't care. It's part of the job. He's willing to accept it. So if he doesn't care, you probably should care less too.
Yep.
Now, I'm not saying you shouldn't attack people who say stupid shit like, like make something up. Like, Reina is half Neanderthal and doesn't know how to. What I mean, you make some stupid comment like
4%.
Yeah, he has inability to think clearly. He's a moron. Like, okay, I get it. That's a dumb comment. But a lot of people being critical of Gregg are being mostly critical in a real critical way. Now, you do get the apparent. There are people who go out there and say Gregg's fucking whatever, this or that.
So,
I'm not going to say it.
I've had this argument with people on Twitter before, and it never started off with people saying, "Oh, Berhalter's a fucking moron. He needs to be shit canned." You know, that's how it eventually got to that point, because people are like, I don't like Berhalter. I think his tactics are garbage. And then people get called out. Oh, you're being toxic. You're an idiot. Stop saying this stuff. You're not a U.S. men's national team fan, et cetera, et cetera. And then at some point, the people who are quote unquote not necessarily anti-Berhalter, but they became anti-Berhalter because of all that shit. And they ended up getting to that point. And now they're like, I'm just going to flat out say he's trash. I don't need to go into why I think he's trash, because nobody's going to listen. So, I don't know.
Well, that's what happens when you just come out and say someone's trash. You've got to come out and then you have to have an argument and say, here are the things
right here
that, aren't working. So there you go. All right, we'll finish this up with a Grant Wall quote, because why not? Fuck it. And then we're going to bed. I think both of us are.
Yeah.
Grant Wall, this is FIFA. So Norway's first female FA president takes us to stage to deliver a powerful speech demanding FIFA live its values, talks human rights, good governance, and responsibility for those killed, injured during World Cup building
of the World Cup. Yeah.
Yep. Honduras FA man then takes stage to say she shouldn't have said that because he's a fucking idiot. That's why. Because yes, the workers were treated like shit in Qatar. Yes, Qatar was that was a bought and sold World Cup. And it was, and most of the people involved in it are in jail now from 2010. Yeah, it was criminal. It was absolutely criminal.
The Honduras FA man probably went up there and said that after he collected his manila envelope full of $100 bills and slid it into his jacket.
Yeah.
But that's the point.
Seriously.
In the end here.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. No doubt. I mean, a lot of these guys are just suits. They're just suits. That's all they are. They show up. They don't say shit. They go along with the game. And so one gal comes out and says, yeah, that 2010 World Cup thing was bullshit. And so we better make sure that the workers that had to build these stadiums because of our bullshit and our infidelity and our cheating and our lying and our stealing need to be fucking held to account going forward. She's the problem? Honduras. Kick that dude out. He's a fucking dickless wonder.
Insurance on my personal yacht is ridiculous. Therefore...
Hassan Al-Twadi, CEO of Qatar World Cup, also responds to Norway's FA president Lisa Klaveness's words. A very brave woman from Norway said she should have educated herself before making remarks. No, you should have, Tariq, you fucking idiot. Or Hassan Al-Twadi.
Oh, it's not Tariq. Yeah, it's not Tariq.
Not Tariq.
Yeah, Tariq
Hassan
he's just reporting.
Yeah, sorry, Tariq, my bad. Hassan Al-Twadi is a twatty. He's a fucking twat. That's his issue. He's a twat. He's a FIFA twat. That's
ignore this mass grave over here.
What a fucking moron.
Oh, man.
What a fucking idiot. So what? Come out and respond and tell us how your World Cup wasn't bought. Now we have all the records. We have all the documents. We know your World Cup was bought. FIFA said your World Cup was bought, but we're not going to take it away from you because it was before this generation of new FIFA leaders who are mostly twats. Anyhow, most of them there are twats. They're all twats. It's a fucking clique. It's a game. FIFA is a twat. It's twat city. And that has nothing against twats. What's twat? It's pussy. So
now we have some background as far as why Grant is starting this tweet. Now, I wouldn't say even call it a threat. It's really only 2 tweets. But he said, this is FIFA. And then he posted it. And then he follows up with this. So, can you read that or you want me to?
Be wary of what you hear and don't hear from media outlets about Qatar's human rights situation, especially when outlets like Fox Sports TV, the U.S. English language World Cup rights holder, have mega lucrative deals with the Qatari government. We just saw this with the Olympics, right? We had a network close in ties with the Olympics in China, and they wouldn't criticize China about anything because it threatened their rights. Same thing here. Maybe Fox not going to say crap about Qatar, although I have heard Fox say some shit against Qatar. Not Qatar. That's Saudi Arabia, I guess. But anyhow, yeah, they're probably not going to criticize the very venue and country they're about to cover and make people not want to watch by saying, yeah, there were all these human rights violations. There's like partial slavery that's being solved right now that we had to work out. The system that they use in the country, which is like slavery. Yeah, that shit's being worked out. I mean, listen, them having to deal with all that probably sucks for them. They're not going to want to, screw up their fucking viewership for that. So Grant gets this right. He gets this right.
It's fitting because it's like, especially when outlets like Fox Sports TV and
I don't care what outlet it is.
But I mean, it's just it's funny because we're obviously just talking about Lawless and not lumping Lawless into this, guys. But it's funny we were talking about Lawless, who happens to work for Fox Sports.
Yep.
So again, not lumping him in here. But I will say there was a time late in the winter or whatever, him and Holden went over to Qatar and did that was it Qatar? Maybe it was Saudi Arabia. I don't know. Wherever they had the whether the World Cup will be hosted every 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
And they're there for that whole thing, hyping it up. Which again, they're getting paid to do. They're in a country that's hosting a major event. I mean, that's what they're supposed to do. They're supposed to hype it up. But man, their comment section got flooded with a bunch of the Qatari human rights issues and stuff like that. But it was just funny because he's like, especially when outlets like Fox Sports TV, and again, not lumping them into that, but that's what he's saying is like, hey, watch out, these guys who have connections with the people in question, whether it's FIFA or Qatari or Qatar government, are probably not necessarily going to report all the inner workings there.
No, and like ESPN did a whole report on this where they dug into the human rights issues, and it's serious. They also said, Gab Marchiotti said things are getting better. They fixed some things. They've worked with the trade unions to fix some of the issues. So, but he said, now after the World Cup's over, I don't know if it's going to stay like this. It could go back to the way it was before. And he's right. It could. Like, might be like just a transitional moment that's not transitional. It's like not permanent. It's just sort of like, let's get through this with these Western idiots who don't understand our culture. And once they're gone, we're going to go back to the way we used to do things. So that could happen too.
Was it the Qatar bid that they were talking about after developing these stadiums that they were going to ship them out to like remote, like underprivileged areas in the end? Like, I mean,
probably they probably did some sort of jerk off shit like that for sure.
I'm just saying, could you imagine the amount of how they would have to ship that out and then obviously reconstruct it again?
Good luck.
Jesus Christ.
Good fucking luck doing that.
That'd be ridiculous.
That sounded like a real jerk off operation at the time to me, honestly. Yeah. So, like, okay, yeah, just like you're gonna have air conditioned stadiums during the World Cup. Okay, during the summer. Oh, well, we're not gonna have it during the summer. We're gonna have it during the winter. Oh, okay. We fixed that too. Like, FIFA really bent over and grabbed their ankles to make this happen, even after it was absolutely obvious you bought the fucking World Cup. You bought it through some corrupt pieces of crap, like Sepp fucking Blatter, that piece of shit. I'm so glad he's gone. So glad he's gone.
Did I show you? Did we show this during the live stream?
What is it?
Oh, hold on.
Looks like a flag. Straight red card flag.
It's our black shirt.
Oh, you didn't show that. So some motherfucker took a close
Yeah,
up of the shirt.
I didn't want to include the guy. Obviously, his email was there, so I didn't include the name of it. But it said, "Rocking in the merch for the L3 versus US. Keep the hits coming."
Hell yeah! Let's see that on screen, babies. All right. With that, last note. We want to thank you. We're going to be back. We're going to do a whole series leading up to the World Cup on every group of the World Cup in our group. We're going to cover it all in detail. We're going to tell you what the issues are, what our strengths might be, what our weaknesses might be, and how we're going to probably perform in our group. We're going to break it down, guys. That's what we're going to do. We want to thank you for showing up, being here, liking, subscribing, and sharing it with your grandma. Until the next time on the Straight Red Card, we're going to bed. That hurt.